Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Monster Strike, let's do another mishmash video. This is kind of becoming a weekly thing, which is fine with me. But first, we'll talk about the next batch of Lucky Monsters, and then we'll look at my results from the last Monster Strike day, May 20th. And then we'll look ahead at the next collaboration. But first, let's look at the next round of Lucky Monsters. And they are these 5 here. As you can see, I do not have the max luck of any of them, so I have a little bit of work to do. And then later on, there will be a couple, 3 days actually, where these quests will be available. But they will be available for 24 consecutive hours, and then the stamina cost will also be 5, so you can play them like a bazillion times. And then they also get the medals times 5. None of that is particularly related to making max lucks, but it's a nice bonus to have anyway. So now, let's look at which maybe 3 of the 5 characters I recommend. You can probably already guess who I recommend. First up is Goremuri, and her I do recommend. She's okay as a character, balanced with null damage wall. She has a poison bump combo, which is unique. That's the evolution form. Ascension form has both a null damage wall, null wind, and then a blast pump combo, so that's kind of nice. That's kind of a cool combination. She's not very difficult to play at all, and I can actually show you the team that I am using. These guys. You want Minesweeper and then Null Block. I'm using 2 characters with Null Block, and then my max luck here of Lokia. I really like her, but to be able to actually use her in an easy quest like this, that's also very gratifying. Okay, next monster I recommend. Actually, Ribe here I do not recommend. She is one of those 5-star and under quests, and I generally just do not like those quests because they're annoying to play. Ribe is extra annoying because she's really difficult, and yeah, she's not very good either. If you were to do like a free-to-play run of floor 31 of the Tower of Champions, that might be a reason to use her, but otherwise I would skip her. Next is Lucius, and then she's the one super extreme character available for this Lucky Monster thing. For her, her Ascension is great. I think she was maybe one of my top 10 wood max lucks, but she's a Pierce with a double null and a blast pump combo. She also has an 8-turn tackle strike shot, so that can give her immunity to magic circles, and then if you use her creatively, she can also like avoid warps and damage walls with that strike shot as well. And then her, I was contemplating playing her on the Monster Strike day, where you could use Hatcher monsters as max lucks. But actually I think using Otsu is one of the best ways to play her. It's strange, if you look at her recommended characters, you see some characters on there with very strong bump combos like Mana or Arthur, but actually I don't think they're very good in that quest. I would much rather bring Pierce characters with null gravity barrier and null block, and then Otsu is here, that's the first one there. I think she's better than a lot of these Hatcher monsters. So I would definitely bring a party with Otsu as your max luck, and then as many of the Komachi as you can bring. And then if you don't have enough of her, you could bring Beethoven. He is a bounce, but you can work around that. And then Monster Rose. And then actually her old evolution form, I think it is. She's also really good, and I had one of her just lying around, so I'm using her. Pierce with a no gravity barrier, no block, and then a big damage in the boss's weak point strike shot. Okay, next up is Dupont, and then him I also recommend doing the max luck of. So that's 3, Goremuri, Lucius, and Dupont. Dupont here, his is definitely the easiest quest, and then actually I would recommend to farm medals in his quest as you make his max luck, because it's that easy. You just need no warp. There are laser barriers in there though, so Ducky is not a good choice. But yeah, Dupont, you can play him slowly by using a 2-star character in order to lower your rarity to get more medals, and then make his max look, slowly. Actually, it might be worth making like 2 or 3 max looks of him on this day, just because he'll be available all day, and then the price will be so cheap. It's just a matter of your willpower. You can farm lots of medals and then increase your max look count at the same time. And then finally here is Silver. He's another 5-star non-request. He's much easier than Ribe, so if you needed to do one of those two, I would definitely pick Silver here. Okay, next, let's look at my results for Monster Strike Day. The first one to appear was Aizen Myo at midnight. I went to bed. I didn't stay up to play Aizen Myo. It wasn't worth it for me to stay up. But actually, there was a reason for me to put it off. Because for her quest, you do want a bounce with the null gravity barrier and the null magic circle. And then later in that Monster Strike Day was Apocalypse, and then she is that. Bounce with a null gravity barrier, null magic circle. So if I finish Apocalypse first, I can use her in Aizen Myo, and then that will be fun. And then Apocalypse I got from 29 to 86 in one day. So that's like, what, 60 drops? So that's very, very crazy. I love Monster Strike Day. And then probably one more run of Apocalypse and I'll be able to finish her, and then I can use her in Aizen Myo. And then actually I could use Apocalypse in Catastrophe as well, and then that will lead me to be able to use Catastrophe in Adabuda, who I'm also interested in getting at least the 10 luck. And then, to finish the Monster Strike Day, there was the first time a Golzetsu character was available on that day. So I played Karuna maybe just for an hour, and then I went to bed. I wasn't going to stay up too late. But the first 10 luck, in order to make that 10 luck of Karuna, that took a lot of time and effort. But on this Monster Strike Day, I felt a lot more confidence. I took, Belphegor, my other team members, I gave them better Able Berries, more like Spirit Crests, and then I used my first Pierce character. I used Hotori. I guess I can show you her. But yeah, that really kind of made the difference. I don't know what exactly made the difference, but all that combination of stuff made the quest much easier for me. So now I feel like the max luck of Karuna is within reach. And then I'll be able to use her as a max luck in Shangri-La. So yeah, the door to the world of the Golzetsu quests is kind of, there's a crack in there that I can get through, so that's kind of cool. And then this is a Hotori who I've been using in Karuna. She's a Pierce with the Null Warp, and then the Counter Killer. So whomever hits her last, Hotori will get the Slayer there. And yeah, very nice strike shot, which works great against the boss. Similar to Monster Rose, extra damage in the weak point, so yeah, pretty exciting there. Okay, finally, let's talk about the news of the next collaboration, and it is something totally out of nowhere. It's a collaboration with, it's kind of like a collaboration with Trigger, which is an animation studio. They made Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. And Gurren Lagann I liked, and I'll probably watch it again in preparation for this collab. Kill la Kill is one of my favorite recent animes, however. I've watched it twice. I would watch it again in a heartbeat. I even bought the comics, which only went up to volume 3 because the animation finished before the comics could, I think. And then there is a new movie, not an animation series, but a movie coming out in movie theaters called Promare. And then this is done in collaboration with the Monster Strike Animation Studio, which is also pretty crazy and out of nowhere. But yeah, the collaboration will feature characters from all 3 of these, which is insane. And then I don't remember if I've said this in a video before, but like the collaborations that would really, really excite me in Monster Strike, one would be Dragon Ball, the other would be Kill la Kill. So yes, I will pull until I get all of the Kill la Kill characters. Looks like it might just be Ryuko and Senketsu, but hopefully there's some drop monsters, especially the school president. That would be awesome. But yeah, just a quick preview here. Very excited about this. When we actually are able to look at the characters in the encyclopedia, then I'll do a more detailed overview there. Okay, so that was a look at the last week of Monster Strike and then a peek at the future. Alright, thanks for watching and we'll see you again. Take care.